Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of American Hood, where we tell the cold, harsh truth about Black America. I wanted to make today's topic be about this question that I've seen on some of these social media sites or some of the groups that I be in. I kind of frequent some of those Black conscious groups, and you have a lot of discussions, a lot of thoughts, a lot of opinions, that goes on in those groups. And one of the questions that kind of piqued my interest or intrigued me was this young lady asked the question, why are we treated the way that we are being treated all over the world? And it was in response to, I guess, what prompted the question was, from the things that's going on, during this pandemic over in China with the Africans, with the way the Chinese people over there are treating the Africans. And it made her want to, curious to know, like, what is the big deal? Why are Black people so discriminated against, and why are we hated so much? And I wanted to try to add a little clarity to that and kind of break that down a little bit. First of all, we need to understand who we are, and that plays a big part into the treatment that that we're subjected to. Not only here, all over the world. And I want to kind of get into that a little bit, and I want to try to make this as not too long. But anyway, first of all, let me just start by saying that the people in the people in China, the Africans who are in China that are experiencing this discrimination or this bigotry. First of all, the Chinese people over there, they're doing that, yeah, because they're Black. But there's a big misconception, and I want to kind of clear that up. We are not Africans. They're doing it to the Africans, thinking that it's us. The Chinese people don't know the difference between us and Africans. They think we are Africans, but we're not. A lot of us think we're Africans. Many of us, the majority of us, think that we're Africans, but we're not. And I'm going, like I say, I'm going to try to clear a little bit of that up. We are a completely different people. We share the same skin tone, but we are completely different people than Africans. The African American who's in America, and not only us, we're scattered everywhere. We're scattered all over the world. We're everywhere. We're in Britain. We're in Germany. We're everywhere. You can find Black people everywhere. But that will come up a little bit a little bit later in the discussion. But the reason that we are treated this way is because we are the chosen people of God. And the people who are at the top, like the people who really run things, the people at the top of the chain, they know this information. And the main priority of America is to not let the Black people know who they are. Well, that's all over the world. They cannot let us know who we are. They don't want to let us know. That's their main priority. And this ties into why we're treated the way that we are. Because, like I said, the people at the top, they know who we are, and they don't want us to ever find out. And so you got to ask yourself, if we were a nothing group of people, as we are portrayed to be, or as they try to make us think that we are, then why do they have to go so far out of their way and go above and beyond to try to keep us down? That's a legitimate question. you should ask yourself. And another question is, if they went so far and so hard to keep us from knowing who we are, why all of a sudden now they let us know, or make us, or they want us to, they'll tell you that you are an African. These people don't want you to know who you are. The reason they don't want you to know who you are, they tell you that you are an African because the more you think that you are an African, the more that you will never, the more that you will be disconnected from your real God. God has a chosen group of people. In the Bible, we know them as the Israelites. But guess what, people? We are those people. We are the Israelites. Yes, the black people in America. The black Hispanics and Native Americans are the Israelites. We are those people of the Bible. And that's why we are at the bottom of society. And I wanted to try to go into the Bible a little bit, because the Bible, it tells us, if we understood the Bible and not listen to, what our oppressor has led us to believe, then we would know this. But our oppressor has gotten, us so far away from our customs and our beliefs. He's put this in this. He's indoctrinated us with this false ideology about the Bible, and got us on this Christianity religion, and we're drunk with that, and that's where we're going off. Because for one thing, you got to understand, God did not give us religion. He never gave us religion. God gave his people laws, statutes, and commandments, and this is what we're supposed to be following. But we have allowed a man to come along and tell us that God's laws are no longer in effect. Y'all don't have to obey God's laws no more. That's no longer in effect. You're under grace now. That's a story for a whole nother day. I'll have to break that down during another time. The grace thing. Yes, we are under grace, but the laws are still in effect. Matthew 15, Matthew 5:17 says that I did not come to destroy the law. Said not one jot or one tittle of the law shall no one pass of the law. Not one jot or one tittle shall no one pass of the law. So I don't know how we've allowed, ourselves to be convinced that the law is no longer in effect. How can a man tell you to honor his laws and tell you that you don't have to obey the laws of the one who created you? That's like you're a child doing what the neighbor said, follows the neighbor's instructions, and don't give a damn about your instructions. And you're the one, it's your child, you're the one who brought the child into the world, you're the one who takes care of the child, but the child does what the neighbor says do. Think about that, people. That doesn't make sense. But what I want to do, I want to go into the book of Deuteronomy in the 28th chapter. I want to read off some of the curses. If you go to the book of Deuteronomy, 28th chapter, God had a list of things, a list of things that he would do for us if we were to obey, keep, and honor his commandments, his laws, statutes, and commandments. If we abide by those laws, he had a whole list of things that he was going to do for us. He said that if we did not obey the laws, statutes, and commandments, he had another list of things that was going to happen to us, that he was going to give to us in the form of curses. And those curses started from like Deuteronomy 28 and 16 on down to 68. And I picked out a few of those that would identify us, that really kind of best identifies who we are. And I wanted to go, briefly and kind of just go over a few of those, and I pretty much dare anybody to dispute these curses and to not understand that this is you who this is talking about. So I want to start with verse 28 and 28. Chapter 28, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 28. It says that you will be that God said He would smite us with madness and an astonishment of heart, meaning that He'll smite us with madness, meaning that we'll be walking around like a madman, like crazy, mad out of our minds. And we would be in astonishment. An astonishment is like something just like, oh man, it's like really spectacular not spectacular, but something to see. It's just something to see, an astonishment. He said that, and if you look at us, and if you knew how far away that we are from our customs, you'll know how ridiculous we look out here right now. We are from royalty. We were like kings and, kings and, upstanding people, so we are so far removed from that now, which makes us an astonishment. Verse 29 says that we'll be groping in noonday. Noonday, meaning noon is like the peak of the day, meaning it can't get no brighter than the noon part of the day. And he said that we'll be groping at noonday. Groping means to be feeling your way, like we'll be feeling our way around, meaning like we'll be so blind. That's how blind we're going to be to things. We'll be blind to just what's going on. We'll be groping in noonday. That's just how blind we would be. Verse 32 says that our sons and daughters will be given to another people. And when we got here, when we landed here in America, our sons and daughters, our kids were ripped from our arms. They were ripped from our ancestors' arms and given to another people and taken off to, probably to never be seen again. Imagine that as a parent, to have to be subjected to something like that. You have your child, your baby, and somebody just come and take it away from you. Take your baby away from you and just take it on somewhere else, and you don't know whether. That's got to be a horrific feeling. That's a horrible thing to have to experience. Let's go on. Verse 33 said we will be oppressed and crushed. I think we can fairly say that we are an oppressed people and we are being crushed. I think that fits us. Chapter 36. I keep saying chapter. Verse. I'm sorry, y'all. Verse 36 says that we will be serving other gods. We'll be serving gods, wood and stone. And right now, you got the Muslims go over to Mecca and they bow down to the stone. We got the Christians. They pray to the cross, the wood cross that Jesus died on, and we idolize that. We use that as an idol, which takes us into idolatry, and that's another forbidden thing by God. God forbids idolatry, and so that's another thing that one of the curses that God said that we would be doing. Sure enough, we're doing it. Can't argue with that. Verse. Let me see. Where am I? Verse 37 says that will be a proverb and a byword. A proverb and a byword, meaning that we will be called everything but who we are. We're Israelites, but we're not called. We are called everything but an Israelite. We're called nigger, Negro, African American, Afro American, colored, black, everything but what you are, who you really are, and that's an Israelite. We're called everything but that. So God said that would happen. Verse 43 says that the stranger, meaning the people that we didn't know, they were strangers to us when we were brought here, will get up very high over you, and you will come down very low. I think it's safe to say that the white man, and it also says that he would be the head and we would be the tail. I think that's pretty accurate. If we said that if we called out a nation to be the head of this nation, it would have to be the white nation, the white people, the white man. He heads this nation. And if you would have to say who was the tail, who would best fit the tail, it's gotta be us. So have no arguments with me there. You know, I mean that pretty much fits us right there. Verse 44 says that he shall lend to you, but you won't be able to lend to him. I think that's pretty, that's a home run right there. He lends to us, but we don't have nothing to lend to him. We have to go to his banks and borrow money to buy a house or to start a business or to whatever. Whatever we have to do, we got to go to him. We got to go to our enemy, our oppressors. God said that would happen to us. I have no argument with me there. Verse 46 said that these things would be a sign. All these curses would be a sign. They would be on us for a sign to show us who we are. God wasn't going to leave us out like that. He wanted us to know who we are. Because he knew that this our enemy was going to lie to us like this and deceive us like this. So God said that he was going to put these curses. These curses was going to be as a sign to identify us whenever we wanted to decided to wake up, so that we would have something to reference ourselves by. Verse 48 says that we would have to go to our enemy in wants of all things. In wants of all things. I mean, everything we need, we have to go to our enemy for. If you want to, again, go back to a loan from the bank, you got to go to him. You want to start a business, you got to go to him. You want to say you want to start your own clothing line, or you want to make your own clothes. You got to go to him to get your textiles and all your material. We don't own anything. We don't produce anything. If you want to start your own business and say you want to be your own man, your own boss, or whatever, you still got to go to him to get your goods and your goods. So in wants of all things, if you want to get married, you got to go to him to get a marriage license. Whatever, in wants of all things, your food, your clothing, water, everything. The Bible says in nakedness and in thirst, in wants of all things, we got to go to him. That pretty much fits us. Said that verse 49 said that it would be we would be subjected to a nation of fierce countenance, that will show no favor to the old or to the young, meaning that you're from our babies to our grandparents. We have seen the police snatch and slam our kids. Look what they did to Tamir Rice, 12 years old, just gunned down. Trayvon Martin. The list goes on and on. I have seen videos where they have taken older women and just slammed them to the ground and treat them so brutal. Our grandparents. You hear the kids in the background saying, "Don't do my grandmama like that. That's my grandmama. Don't do my grandmama like that." God said that we would be subjected to this stuff. Said that that's verse 50 said that they won't show no favor to the young or the old. So I guess 49 and 50, we can't argue with those. We can't argue with any of them, but these are some of the ones. These are some of the curses that I pulled out that are like spot on, that you just can't deny. You're like, I'm just trying to give it to you right now. Verse 54 says that the man that was once tender among you, you will now have an evil eye towards your brother. Meaning that we were once cool, we were once a family, we were once good with each other. But he said that we were going to be, we call it today hating on each other. We hating on each other. black on black crime and all that stuff. This was verse 54, Deuteronomy 28 and 54. It says it right there. Verse 64 said that we're going to be scattered. And I just said earlier how we're everywhere. We're scattered. God said that he was going to scatter us in all four corners of the earth. And we are everywhere. We're in Britain. We're in Germany. We're in everywhere. Russia. We're everywhere. Black people are everywhere. And he said that we were going to be few in numbers everywhere that we were. He was going to make us few in numbers. We are the majority. Really, we are the majority. There are more of us. The 12 tribes of Israel make up of more people than any one nation on the earth. But we are separated and scattered everywhere until we're placed at a disadvantage as far as numbers are concerned, because there are a few of us here, a few of us there, a few all over the world. And God said that he was going to do that as part of our curse. He was going to curse us like that, so that we wouldn't have strength in numbers. Man, wow. Verse 65 said that they won't have any mercy. They won't have no mercy on us, and would have us trembling, and have our hearts just in tremble. I mean, we'll just be just in fear all the time, not knowing, what's going to happen the next time we walk out the door. It's bad enough that we, like I said, we got to deal with the black on black crime and the, crime among each other. But we have to be afraid of the people who are supposed to protect us. In a routine traffic stop, you might end up getting killed. Come on, man. Verse 66 says our life will, just be in doubt all the time. We will always be in doubt. We're the only people have to, tell your kids, hey, when you go out there, when you go out there, the police pull you over, this is what you do. We got to give our kids instructions on what to do if the police pull them over. White people don't have to tell their kids that. Chinese people don't have that conversation with their kids. We are the ones, because we're in fear. That's the fear that God is talking about. We are the ones subjected to that. And the last one, the last curse that it's just so undisputable, because no one can make claims of this one. God said that in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, he said that as a part of our curses, if we didn't do right and keep his law, statutes, and commandments, he would, as one of our curses, the last one, that he would send us back into Egypt again with ships. Now, let me explain that. We're not in Egypt. We're in America. But in the Bible, God refers to Egypt sometimes as the physical place Egypt. And then he refers to it, if you go to Exodus 20 and 2, you'll see that God refers to Egypt as a house of bondage. He calls Egypt the house of bondage. It's just another word for bondage. So what he was saying, that I would send you into bondage again on ships. We are the only people who ever went into slavery on slave ships. Understand, people, that the Bible is a book about us. It is a history book. It is our history book. We are not Gentiles. We are the Jews of the Bible, from the tribe of Judah, the same tribe that Jesus Christ himself is from. Now, I want you guys to, like I said, there's going to be a lot of people that's, I already know, oh man, he with that God. It's a lot of people out there that don't believe in God. But for the ones who do, and this makes sense to you, about, just the whole God concept, then you get your Bible and you go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and you read that. And the curses start from 68 on down. And if you were to go to Jeremiah 17:4, it tells you that God said that he was going to discontinue us from our heritage, where we're not going to even know who we are and know our heritage and our customs and all that. And we're here right now following another man's customs, and it's just totally not conducive to who we are. We're just totally we're living totally out of order right now. But anyway, this is why we're being treated the way that we are, because we are the children of God. We are the true children of God, and the people at the top, they know this, and this is why they have conditioned society to look at us and see us this way, even our own selves, to see ourselves this way. All right, I hope this helps somebody, and like I say, look at this for yourself, study it, and I'll be, sharing some more things about this as time goes on. All right, peace.